Hello traders, and welcome to this live trading stream. We were supposed to be doing this internally, but we're having issues with the Cloudflare or something. So why not come and do the stream here with you guys? So please, as always, give me the quick sound confirmation just to make sure that everything is a-okay, and then we may proceed. So yeah, let me know in the chat, please, if the sound is good. At least for the members, the delay here is probably a little bit less than on the actual platform. So do let me know if the sound is good. Volume up, we can do that. There you go. Volume is up. Sound is low. Okay, we'll turn that. We'll fix that. There you go. So fixed. Okay, perfecto. Okay, so good. So before we begin, the market is open already. I had a little glitch as well trying to get this to go, but yeah, we're here now. Right. So housekeeping first. Everything we cover here today is not for it's not deemed as financial advice. Everything is educational purposes only. Okay, so make sure you're okay with that. I do remember 28k, absolutely legend. Anyway, so yeah, make sure you're all happy with that. I've already taken a couple of one trade today, 2 lots short on NQ, so from earlier. So let's go down to a smaller time frame. Yeah, the markets are we've just looked above into those 830s. Actually, I did have a little level there, but yeah, so just for those of you who are new, hello everybody. We've got quite a few people there. I'll go straight into the chart. Hello everybody. But yeah, this is Quantower application. We're trading NQ futures. Yeah, so if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We can take a look at BTC also. And there you go. We're actually at the look at this. So this is my plan on BTC, and we this is the good old me. Let me just take the jokes out of here, and let's just expand the box. There you go. So we basically just hit the box and the alert trigger there for that nice short trade on BTC. The overall trend on BTC, as you can see, it's still down. However, we have tapped the yearly anchored VWAP standard deviation -1, which is down here. We tapped this overnight, therefore it's still not traded, and my plan this morning was okay, let's see if we can tap that into the RTH trading, which is around here any minute shortly. So yeah, there you go. This is what the plan is. Value is still lower, as you can see there. So each and every single day we've been going down and down into that lower value. And yeah, we've literally just hit the box to the T there in the time frame. So yeah, invalidation. This is where one time framing down breaks. One time framing down, one time framing down, one time framing down. That's daily, weekly, monthly. So we had a trend day yesterday, value lower. As I was saying, there is no poor highs or lows, so everything efficient here traded, apart from the overnight, which I kind of expected this to be poor. So it'd be nice to potentially repair, but I'll be content if we now obviously come down here and hold that standard deviation there yearly -1. Okay, so to be decided. We don't have any gaps here. We literally opened just back into the value, which is perfect. Look at that, value area high into the value area low, and we've opened outside. We are long there, so sorry, short, so we want to see that rebalance. And there's my targets there, but they're all marked with those boxes there, so nothing too major. We're just in that trigger zone for the short trade there. So if you're short, congratulations. Just trail your trade down now to the lows. Okay, so just going to bring up the market profile very quickly. This is ES on the left, and this is NQ on the right. As you can see, we are now trying to go and see the lows from, this is the 13th. ES, yeah, we've already done all of the lows, so there's nothing else here below. So let me just zoom in. I'll keep this as is so that we can track that order flow there for just the RTH sessions on both of these two markets. And now let's go over to the charts. We can see the little opening range low already tapped below, and we're coming back inside. So now I'm gonna go lower to the 1 minuto, and we can start hunting some trades. Straight up to VWAP. Wow, look at that. So I'm just gonna go quiet here for a few minutes. Any questions, do pop them in the chat. I'll see them coming in. But yeah, that was the Bitcoin analysis there. So let's try and jump with this. And okay, so this is the opening range. I'm just going to bring some levels. Basically trying to break back above the previous day low, as you can see there. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to keep this very big as well so that you guys can all see what I'm doing. So this is the opening range low, which is coming to retest the lows there. I'm happy to attempt a long back up to VWAP through the daily low, but that's going to have to be with the market order now. We're already trading quite quickly there, so let's see if we can get a nice break back above 710s. Okay, this is support now, as we are just here. See if we hold to get that rotation back above. No can do. Got previous week low just below. So we can't reclaim that previous day low. So previous week low, there you go. Previous week low incoming there. See if we tap that. And just below we've got the overnight low. If I just had the levels, you can see overnight low is sitting literally just below there at 600. This also happens to be the support there for the options. I expect that previous week low to be tapped again. This 1 minute candle doesn't look the best. Let's see if they push this down one more time. Just gonna go with this like that. Through into the overnight low, that would be nice. See if we can push this down. They're trying. There you go. That is going to be the resistance now. 665s. And if they break below these 55s, we should see a little move back down to the lows. They still don't want to drop it just yet. Yeah, let me know if the lag is better. Yeah, that previous week low, holding for now. And there you go. So they're not, they had to go all the way back up to those 60s, well, 60, 75s. But yeah, there you go. They're coming now. So it's a bit too late now for that little short trade. It would have had to be a little bit higher. And now here it's too tight. I mean, we could still go with it, but it's very kind of like risky because we're just looking one more time. So the risk here is, yeah, the reward is 350. Yeah, we're kind of looking below the lows. Still think we go down there, as you can see there. But yeah, it's just too close to it. This little section here was too quick, this drop, and there you go, into the overnight low. Just tapped there. Still not a long trade. Would have to go back inside the previous week low and more specifically the orb low to then activate that long trade. For now, we're still down trending, one time framing down. But yeah, overnight low now, tapped. Just waiting here. So we've taken previous week low and the overnight low. Just bringing back the levels. Let me just hide the plan. We know where they are. Well, I know that is. It's looking okay here for the long trade on the reclaim, but I wanted to see at least that orb low reclaimed. Happy to buy a little bit later rather than too early. We're still one time framing down on 1 minute, but you can see that we've really slowed down now down here. Obviously, you know, we are taking overnight low and the previous week low, so it's, you know, bearish wall below that level. We could get a bit of expansion to the downside on the break here below the 85s. I just don't want to be trapped down here with a short trade on that break. Market can look below, trap some traders and then go back inside. So this is kind of like a key zone. Plus that 600 was the options support. Still is. We're just looking below 20 points. You can even go 30 points below there. Still be okay. Just to reel in some shorts below the low and then squeeze them. So yeah, there you go. So we're coming back inside. Got that 9 seconds, feels like an eternity, right? It's looking okay. We can close back above that overnight low. Could trigger a little long trade here, tight risk. Just zoom in like this. You can see it's not happy still. But I feel like if we go above, we'll trigger that long trade. Can risk 260 here. There you go. Let's see if we can trigger this squeeze. We'll go down just below the lows. See if they're ready to go. Looks like they want to close this bearish down here. Got 4 seconds to move this back inside. Let's see if they can push. If not, then if they close down here, it's a little bit more bearish now. So we can just close this. Let's move our stop to here. There you go. That was a L trade. They're just not ready to reclaim that range just as of yet. Let's see if they want to purge it one more time. Yeah, still not quite ready either. Looking both on this side. That long trade. But this is it, like getting trapped down here with a short trade is not the best. Especially being around. Yeah, there you go. They're trying again. We can go higher, but go with that confirmation. So let's just wait a couple of seconds. Yeah, really slow here at around these lows. And a little more break there. Yeah, BTC is on our level. Well, rejecting from our level. So, see if we could get that continuation lower into at least 90,500. Okay, we are getting the breakdown here. Let let me just bring, so where we have below. Don't really have much stuff down there. This is NQ, Nasdaq. Yeah, I'm looking at both Nasdaq and the ES. You can see we're looking below the lows. So shorting down here, it's not the best. We could go with a momentum trade, but it's not the best. You can see it's very tight below the overnight low. So it's best to wait a little bit. We've got about 3 minutes for this A session to finish, so it's best to just kind of like wait for the A session to finish. You know, where do they want to close this? And then plan it better. But for now, it's one time framing still down. When we attempted this little trade here, we were getting the first initial sort of reversal. I was going with the break above to go back inside that initial, well, opening range here at the 24,645s. But yeah, still 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes of a slow grind here. You can see here on the DSF or the book map similarity that it's just very tight, and here's that little break that we're going to go with back to the range low, VWAP, etc. So it's still kind of like valid, but we just need to reclaim some levels, and we've got about 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left here of a session. Yeah, no bounces yet. Still not giving us a nice trade here yet. Hello from Czech Republic. What was the habit trading? Unlearning some stuff was the it's got to be the biggest one. Unlearn stuff that doesn't work. There we go. We've got 2 minutes, so I have to wait here 2 minutes for this new session to open. See if we can take the low one more time, or just quickly go back inside that range low. 2 minutes left. It's looking okay here for a little bounce. If we can hold above those 60s. It's trying to hold, but still bearish. You can see here 60s again. It is really trying to hold. 1, 2, 3. 1 minute left. This is Quant Tower. On the left I've got TPO, so ES and then Nasdaq, and then here on the right I've got the DOM, time and sales for ES and NQ, and then the bookmap facility. Very similar to bookmap, but it's Quant Tower's on built-in trading platform thingy. And yeah, this is my profit for today so far. And I shorted the break earlier from here down to the lows. I was out of all of this, and then we just attempted this little trade. You can see here. So I shorted here to there, and then here attempted this little long now at the open to get back inside the range, but not avail. So these were only the trades I took today. Been flat. Not traded ES yet as well. But yeah, very slow here at the open. I mean, we had getting this little move below, but it's not getting much oomph. But yeah, at least BTC is rejecting the box, which is the time value area low from yesterday. And that's where we wanted to see. It was not just the time value area low. We obviously had, if I just zoom in and hide the profiles now, you can see we had all of these highs. So that was kind of like, I mean, that box I only extended slightly, but we were looking for this right at the open 9:30. That's what it's nice to see all the time. And yeah, we're rejecting from there. So if you are short, you know, this was shared. There you go, 92,395. 92,395. This was shared this morning, like maybe 6, 7 a.m. Eastern. So people can be in sync with this. And I'm saying here I would like to see the drop into the VWAP band, at least this one during RTH, because this has been during, if I show you here, it's probably cleaner. There you go. So we're rejecting the level that I wanted to reject, and then I want to see this traded through down to there at least. That would be nice. That would complete this auction and make it at least more feasible for a long trade. Until then, stay flat or short. We have the B session open now. Let's zoom in. You can see the market is trending lower, but we are just below this overall low at 6, well, call it 26, which is the previous week low. And as you know, well, if you've been trading for a while, you know that, below previous week lows, it's not the best place to look for short. So I'm kind of like hesitating to take a short here on both markets, actually, just to see if we get a better opportunity. But it's running a little bit without us. But we'll get it, and I'll try to share a real time. Going to load a bit more high time frame targets here just to see what else we have. Yeah, 24. So we're looking for 24 410 as the major low pivot here. So if I just put this there. Yeah, just waiting here for the next trade. It's either a reclaim back inside previous week range, so that's going to be previous week low, overnight low, or we're going to have to go with continuation down to that 410 level, but we need a little pullback here, at least up to, let me go 15 minutes. Yeah, we'd need to get a pullback at least back up to 20s. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, so let's mark this. Let's go with candle structure. And yeah, I'll keep an eye on BTC. Who's short BTC? The DSF on that is actually okay lately, but you need to go with the DOM trader. It's getting similar to Contextual on. Check it out. Yeah, I'm so used to this one now. I don't think I'm going to change. But yeah, I do like Atlas a lot. Yeah, I don't really have a trade here. Couple of people there, short on BTC. Yeah, let's see if we can get into that box. If you're holding the short. Okay, if we can get a little pullback here, I'd attempt the short. See if we can get up to 15-minute low would be better, but that's quite far away now at around the 500s on NQ. See if we can reject those 60s from earlier, the support level, 24,460s. It's kind of like hovering around it. Okay, still trying to turn around. So the first pullback we've seen now. See if we can get at least up to that 15-minute low. We came very close to the overall low on this range. The good trades comes to those who wait a little bit and are patient. There you go, we're just touching that 15-minute low now. Let's see if we reject here. At least it would be nice to tap it. There you go, we tapped it. Let's see if we reject. We go with short down to the overall 410s. If we start to reclaim these levels, more specifically the opening range low, which you can see there on that overnight low as well, then we could be starting to paint a different picture where we're looking below that previous week low, you know, trapping a lot of traders down here and then obviously reclaiming the range. Okay, and this is why I've been hesitant to take any shorts on here, because you know this can start to get going and get going really fast. Obviously we waited for that B session. There you go, we've looked below, come back inside, so it's starting to look okay, but still in resistance here. So let's see. This is the RTH VWAP here, or the blue line. We do have to make a little swing high here, so that would be at least 3 candles there around these 60s. Again, come back below, reject, then we can attempt a short. For now, it's a nice little reversal here. Okay, holding. How long do we have for the next? 5 minutes still. Okay. It's trying to hold here above those 50s. Just gonna zoom in so you can see what I'm seeing. There we go, coming just to retest that level again. Could go back to that gamma level up there at 600s. So we can hold here, but I don't really have the clean structure to go with a long trade. We're holding above that key level that I marked. So let's see if we can hold there. Then we can attempt a long up to VWAP. Quite a lot of... It's looking okay for that break above. Might go with a long trade here. Let's attempt it. See if we can push through. Gonna trail the stop with price. Just seen a nice move, but I'm just trying to hold it for a little bit longer. It's failed, so it's looked above and failed, so I'm gonna collapse it. You can see that there we really got that expansion above, but then it failed, it came back inside. So it looks like if we lose this 52, we might be looking for that rotation all the way back down to the lows. So let's see about that. And that was the trade there, literally a break even. Or a scratch trade, but yeah, looked above, we wanted to go with that break, back up to VWAP, retest the lows, but it failed miserably. No clean structure for the short, but the short is looking good down for the 410s at least. See if we can get in a little bit later with the confirmation now. Just don't have it. It's a bit too late now with this 1 minute candle. Let's see, it's going to close right at the lows. See if we can go with the retests. You can see how once the invalidation happens, it's just a quick, massive short. Okay, here comes the pullback. Let's see. We could go below the low. A little bit risky. I would like to see it go up a little bit more, at least up to the 95s would be nice. Otherwise we'll go with the stop just below, basically go with the brick cap down to the range low. There you go, here's the 80s. You can see what we're doing, trying to go with that little breakdown. Really tight stop. Just see if we go through that down to the range lows. I'll just manage this very tight here. It either drops or it doesn't. So let's see. Yeah, not dropping as fast as I wanted it to, but still trying to hold here the 7.5. Let's just pull a fib here with the split range. You can see they're trying to hold at 75%. Let's wait for them to break this range and then we could go with the clear. But you can see how they're holding perfectly that 75% there. So here's still that level. It's going to react here. And once we get that trade that gets going, we should see some nice fireworks, let the market show its next clear move. Right, there you go, back up to that 25 now. And yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. There you go, we're at that 25. Okay, let's see what they want to do here. Because if they hold here, we could squeeze up to, well, you can see up there, at least daily low. Yeah, we're trying to pick a direction here still. We're still below previous week low. Its shorts are a little bit more risky because of the higher time frame look below and fail on the weekly. We attempted this little break, but it was just a little bit too late down there. We were just a little bit too late. Once it broke here, we attempted the long scratch short there. We're just a little bit too late for that party there on the short. And obviously here we can't long. We're at that resistance there, as you can see. We can now delete that just to clean this up. This is a new 5-minute candle opening right inside the range. A lot of indecision going on here now. Got the Mag 7 still pushing back, every single one, including the QQQ. So Apple down, Microsoft down, Nvidia down, Google down, Tesla down, just kind of like holding. Tesla is at the weekly open, previous day low. Everything is at the low. So yeah, I'm not surprised the market is just kind of like churning here for a little while. You can see, like, let's take a look at Nvidia being the biggest composite. There you go. So at previous week low. So this is not a place. It becomes very sticky down here. You've got like the weekly. So this is a higher time frame, obviously range. And you've just looked below here. And it's like, okay, typically you can get that nice move back inside a range. So, you know, the markets or traders are kind of like just being a bit cautious here. Shorts, obviously you've got really low reward here because you can get stopped out basically. So no wonder why we're a bit sticky here. Yeah, still dropping here, but very, you can see sideways for the past few minutes. Yeah, BTC, this is still resistance, you know, like, yeah, we're churning here. You can see the last few minutes, you know, up, down, but it's still resistance. And we're still, I mean, did we trade it down to, no, we still haven't traded down to, I'd like to see it trade down to there. We do have some gaps slightly below. There you go. We're just basically retesting the gap filled from this day here, and that is the Wednesday, April. So it's still retesting, and we do have a major gap below. I don't like this one. I told the champions this. I don't like this gap here. So really, this is the level. Should it hold, great. If not, then 86 and lower. We've got quite a lot of confluence down here. I prefer those levels. Well, between 87 and 86. I don't like the one in the middle here. There's one here in the middle. I don't like it. There you go. This market is a little bit slow here. You can see a lot of orders, yet not much follow through. So it's best to stay out for a little bit and wait for that nice clear trend to start to form. Technically, we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower, well, inside, just trading inside the range there. Wood chopper, nice one, mate. Yeah, I was just a little bit too late on that. But yeah, the move is nice though. So well done, mate. For now, I'm waiting for the actual range to be clear. You can see since we've broken below previous week low here, same with Nvidia, for example, it's just been like, this move was actually okay, but it's just been, you know, it wants to go, but it's taking its time. Yeah, we just looked at BTC. Yeah, smash the likes. How many people are watching this anyway? 800, okay, not too shabby. Just looking at the comments while we wait for direction here. Any requests? Pop them in and we can do that now. 86, yeah, 86 would be nice. At least you can see the gap filled up. Let me just put on that screen. The gap there that we're working inside it now, it's at 92,730. So this is still a nice resistance. The whole box here is resistance, and then we have the point of control, and only, okay, only, this is the most important bit here, only when we trade above the previous day high is that we're going to switch this one time framing down, which I mark here. So that's 96 145. So up here, so when BTC, if and when BTC trades here, that's the only time that we can say, okay, we have now potentially have a low. Okay, we have touched the band. You know, this was something I was waiting for, but I would prefer if we did that during this crucial time. That would have been a little bit more confluence. Basically, if it doesn't do that, it kind of, for me, it's kind of like a little bit unfinished still, but it's okay. But it just means that until then, we're still entertaining short, or, you know, remaining short, and, you know, the higher time frame, we can just, you know, step aside and be a little bit later, but at least we have this confirmation. So there's no need to snipe the low. You don't have to be the cowboy or the cowgirl that wants to long this right now just to have that screenshot and post on Twitter. You know, we're not doing that. We're just you know, trading from A to B to find those nice levels. There you go. NQ still holding that new higher low there. Are we going to see the move back up to VWAP now? Looks like he wants to come back in. We've got about 8 minutes, so there's plenty of time. See, maybe we can go with a little break here to the upside into that. Oof, a bit too late now. Would have to come back above those 85s at least. Let's see if we can push this through. As we were talking about BTC, I kind of missed that nice expansion up on NQ, unfortunately. Yeah, nice little pop there on NQ. Still like to see another pop higher there to take the actual VWAP one more time. Okay, let's see if we can get the pop. Okay, let's trigger this. I'm going to try and go over this. I'm just going to share my screen now quickly. Trying to get long here for that little move up there. See if we can hold this to VWAP. That would be nice. It's just above a little bit. Let's just trail up a little bit. Should push up to it. Let's log 310 at least. Down to this low. Push it down to this one. Let's see if we can get up to those. Oh, okay, quite a few sellers stepping there. Oof, literally just stopped before the move. You can see how it's volatile it is. But we missed that initial move down here. Yeah, we're just playing with one lot here anyway. But yeah, there you go. They did come up to it. Boom, into that VWAP. So this is nice. This is good to see. Obviously, that's resistance. So you know, we're just collapsing slightly just before we get there, but we got ticked out there. That was annoying. Typically when they're just very close, you know, more often than not, they don't do a good retracement here. They actually go and stop at it, or just above it, and then they still push through to take the stops from the people that initially short. But there you go. We went and took it again. So this is what I was looking for on the 1 minute. For those of you who like the trading view, we still hadn't traded above that, and typically you want to push that through just to trade above, and then that's the resistance. And you can see that typically again to the downside. You know, there's also a nice trade, but it's a little bit more risky with the context. But that was also the overnight low though, to be honest, so that's nice actually. If I just hide that VWAP there. Oops. Yeah, you can see that we had the overnight low there, so that was actually a nice short trade. Let me know in the chat, did you take that? Wow, that was nice actually. You can see so many opportunities on this market. Where's BTC then? Yeah, BTC is still in the box. We're basically at the gap. There you go. I think the higher time frame is much easier to look. Let me go down to a 30 minute, because this is just looking RTH. You can see we've opened right at the lows. We're inside that gap. There you go. I don't know if you can see it right there, but this is the gap that we are working inside, just there. So that's the gap, and this is the gap filled from the left. Does it have to come down to 90? No. Would have been nice, sure. During the overnight we did, as you can see, look. So this is the overnight. trading here. We've done what I wanted to see, but I would have liked to see just one more push down into it, and hold this sort of like low to high. Now we've broken this, so that's looking good. So give me this now down here. So we've got an alert there at around 90,650, but we can adjust this. Let's adjust it to 90,850. Basically, we are boxing in, oops, 90,850. Yeah, we can then box in, yeah, just below these lows. In other words, oops, these are funny scribbles. So in other words, we know this is still kind of like working its price action. So coming below these lows here would then give us the following. We've hit the level during ETH. So ETH, that stands for electronic trading hours, as you can see down here. Okay, we would like to see this deviation -1 for the anchored VWAP for the yearly. So this is a year. We can actually name it here so that you know, year anchored VWAP. And this is the standard deviation. So it'd be nice to touch that during the institutional side of like play, which would be anywhere down here. If we take that, we also take in the stops here from the early people that long. Let's say they put their stops here now because they get excited. We come down here. Let's say we reject the point of control, which is literally just above there at 93. That's the second level, 93,975. And then we can then make the move back down, clean those stops, stop everybody out. But then at that point, what we've done is we've changed the structure here. We've made a low, we've made a local higher low there, and then, you know, give us this. We then have this nice structure that we can go with. So for now, I'm going to remain patient. If you're long, that's okay as well. But yeah, just be safe out there. That's the way I would trade this. And now I can take this back to the regular trading, go back to 24 hours, and we can just, but you can see how respectful this has been. And this is trading view. Let me just hide the gaps. And there you go. And I'm going to hide that and that. There you go. So this is beginning of the year right here. And then we've got the standard deviation, -2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This is the one, obviously VWAP. We spent so much time, and this is what I was saying to the champions. You know, if we break, we were looking for longs here, but we failed. And obviously we break below the lows. Typically, when you break below, you know, the range that makes around that mean, you want to see at least the -1, which we tapped this morning overnight on the Tuesday, which is good to see. If we want to think about this as a weekly range. So yeah, that's Bitcoin there. That's what we're looking at. So we got our alert. Let's just wait for that. But yeah, currently we're inside the box there, and we got the other one just slightly above. And remember, while we're below that, we are still one time framing down, one time framing down, one time framing down on each and every single time frame. So you really want to see, and I'm actually going to delete these 3 alerts, and I'm going to adjust them live here on stream with you all. And I'm going to put here. So that is the what's it called, the invalidation, or not invalidation per se, but more so if price trades there, that means we have finally broken the one time framing down, which we haven't done in, if I just show you here. So this is the market profile or the volume profile on BTC, and since the 11th we've traded down, 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 and down. And to break this downtrend, we'd have to go above that 96,145. Until then, this market is short. We can look for the previous low here. So this is the Friday the 14th. Even if we open and go up to the 94, which is the next alert that we've just marked, that is still resistance, because the market likes to do that. You can see here, open, goes up to value area high, and then drops. Opens, goes up to value area high, drops. Opens, midpoint, previous day, drops. Opens, can't even reach the midpoint, drops, open here, look below, hit the yearly VWAP, and now it's like, okay, coming back up. So it's starting to show some signs of, or early signs of wanting to be bullish, but it's a bit too early still, okay? So there's your TA on BTC once again. And this is just the market profile, volume profile, rather. So yeah, that would be all the way up here. Till then, just be patient. Okay, let's go back to NQ is working here on a nice bull flag. We can get another break. If we can hold above now, we can go to that previous week low actually. See if we can break. This could be minimal risk here. Let's see if we can get it break. I'm going to attempt it. Maintaining the risk. It's not ready to go yet. We also have the new 30-minute candle open just now. I've only just noticed that. So typically we get that nice move back inside the range. So once I literally saw that just now, I wanted to be out of this because we can go a little bit deeper here. But yeah, it's working on this now. But yeah, I only acknowledge that 30-minute open just now. You can see here open, getting that protection move back inside. So let's see. Can still be valid now, the long trade. Just needs to hold back above now. I'm going to attempt it. Tight stop, and I'm just going to trail. Oops. I'm going to share my screen as well. That was in the profile. That pays for the little short. Let's see if we can at least push through this. Okay, let's go and push this a little bit higher. Oof. Quite a lot of volatility here. Come on. Waiting for a swing low to drop this. It's not quite confirmed, this one here. They're trying. Yeah, I'm gonna collapse it here. Feels like they don't want to move this through that. Yeah, there you go. Coming back in. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, there you go. They're quite ready to go. Maybe now with that big order down there. But yeah, the thesis here was very much, and this could still really go now. It's like you have that nice downsloping trend line, but you open this 30-minute session, you open and typically, like I literally saw that within a minute of opening, and then you want to see the open all the way back in. You can see like we actually came down all the way to the A session low, so that's nice confluence into the midpoint there of B. That's good. It held, but yeah, good decision there to close this. When we close, it's just basically trailing that stop. It's still looking okay. It can still go, but let's see. I think we could take a break and take some questions. But yeah, I feel like we can get a little push here. Still undecided, the market. The market is still trying to figure out which way it's going to go. But it is very technical to see how the market has come back twice, once and twice there through that overnight low, and it's failed. And then it's working on this, you know, call it somewhat this little bullish flag. It feels like, okay, we've just opened that 30-minute there at 10:30. We then come down, take the stops. We attempted the long, but you could just see it wasn't quite ready. It wasn't quite ready to just go. So, you know, we just took, I don't know if you can see the little arrows, but there's a little open arrow here and then the close one. And it's very much like I like to do this, not have like the take profit said in the books, and instead just trail, because, you know, you just never know if the market's going to top here or if it's going to continue to view up. It would have been nice here to just go blast through, flip it, and then just continue back inside the previous week low, but it's a little bit weak for now. So no panic just as of yet. On BTC, no, the swing longs, in my opinion, would be, if that's with regards to BTC, the swing longs would be obviously down much lower. So, well, you kind of entering the zone. So if I just use this over this regular trading session, you can see that we are pretty much there. And what's happening here is you have the standard VWAP, and this is the default, and this is what everybody looks at. And you can see here, when BTC was trading at the yearly average, we're at the 50%. So that becomes a really strong level, but it's a 50-50 trade because you got, you know, this way to go up and this way to go down. So you're literally 50-50 right in the middle. If you break to the upside here, when it was looking good for a day, but that was the beginning of the week, you can look for the 7.5. You know, if you break the lows, you look for the 7.5. So you kind of like, you've just arrived at one mean, which is -1, but you still have a little bit more juice here. So retail, everybody will be looking between the, you know, the big old 618, which is here. And typically the market likes to squeeze everybody out a little bit more. And then you get the headline saying, oh, you know, it's mega short, you know, this is very bearish, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when the good opportunity arises, when we come down to that, you know, 786, 75%. I like the 75% better. And I'll show you what it looks like here, which is around that 88, 745. Because then at this point you have a beautiful like 3-to-1 risk to reward minimum back up to the all-time highs. So you have 1, 2, 3. Hope that makes sense. So are we at the higher time frame add? We are in the box. We're basically in the box. What you could do, you could just split this range into 2 again, go from here to there, and you could say, yeah, absolutely, this is the buy zone now. But you just have to be prepared to see this still drop potentially, you know, another few percent, and then potentially back inside. You basically want to see at least one time framing down on the daily, you know, break, and we've not seen that yet. So you know, if you're looking at a higher time frame, just be patient, just wait for this, you know, have this, you know, if you're a champion or a, you know, a member, just have this, copy paste this onto your charts. You know, I can give you a little where's my normal plan? There you go. Tell you what, let me just move this away, and then you can just take a screenshot now, and then you can do this every day. So preparation, there you go. So this is the template. You can just copy this, and then every day come here like, okay, are we still one time framing down? Okay, good. Delete the up. Are we still on the daily? On the weekly, are we still one time framing down? Yep, we haven't broken the high. Yep, sure. Monthly as well. And then while these three are D for down, so this is one time framing down, while it's still down, there's no reason to long. Yes, you can take some scalp longs, but you have to be out pretty quickly. Okay. So that's just a template, and you can anchor. And someone told me about this and it was really good. I was like, wait, what? Because obviously I had this just moving about like crazy. And then someone said, yeah, hang on a minute, you can anchor that and it doesn't move. And I was like, wait, what? So that was a really good tip. So Moon Dream. Right, this is still here. I mean, at least we've managed to lock a couple of trades there, good ones. You can see here the market profile is starting, value is all down here. You can see value starts from 30, well, 40, call it 40, all the way down to the low. So we are building value lower. So this is what I often say, trade with value. Value is building lower. It looks like it wants to snap. I'm actually going to load 3 months. No, let's go 3. Because on NQ, on ES, I mean, we just go left. Yeah, there you go. So we've got the lows at 92. There's 2 there. Then if we go all the way, when is this? Wednesday the 10th. There's a point of control here, 6,600. Actually, we can extend this. There you go. Let's extend it to current price. There you go. So we have below price on ES, we have a naked or untested point of control. So why don't we just do that instead? So let's go untested point of control. And slightly below we have a few, yeah, we have these lows. We already tapped it, so the low becomes better. So because this has been tapped, let's just go back to there. Let's delete that ray and actually let's use the value area low, which sits at 888. Oh, funny number. So we're basically making a box on ES based on RTH trading. So this box down here, because there's not much below. This is the thing. There's not really much. So the market is going to linger here a while. So yeah, and then on NQ, let's see on NQ what we have. We've worked with all of this below. I'm just going to zoom into this day here, and then we can see what there is. So 24, yeah, this is the 400 level, which is the value area low, and we're going to use volume on this one and the midpoint. So this one is quite strong. So that's the 400. So we haven't traded to 400. Give me a second here. My dog wanted to come into the room, so let him in. Okay, so yeah, we do have that value area low there. And then that's it. If I just expand, yeah, there you go. There's nothing else in here. So yeah, that 400 level is really good. And we also have an untested point of control. So let's mark these two. Let's mark the untested point of control, and let's leave this as the untested value area low. Okay, so untested value area low. Let's apply both. Let's go to current price action now. We can see what market's trying to move back in. It's what I was saying. We don't have much below. Value is building lower. We're going to trail this value also on NQ, and we're just going to keep looking at this value throughout the day. The only good thing here on ES is that auction down there on B session was really low, only 3 lots. So let's keep this here. And with value, I just saw the question there. Sorry, what's this? Igor, can you please explain the other steps on the daily template? Yeah, sure. I'll do that very quickly. Super important. And I have one for this market as well. So for example, if I just go, there you go. Let me just pop this. Actually, let me just move it. So this is what I use for the futures. And basically I use options to find my levels. And you saw the one for today. Let me just show you here. Just down here. Let's look at on field. Well, field versus on field. So you have the same, it's the same principle. It's mainly looking at the context, you know, where's the higher time frame, medium time frame, and local time frame, like daily, weekly, monthly. You know, is there any CPI, FOMC, earnings, whatever? Are we risk off? For example, today we're risk off, and that's what I wrote this morning. It's risk off. You know, the market's coming down, so you know there's that sentiment a little bit more, you know, bearish as it's risk off. You know, what's the shape? The shape, it's easy. You can just look at the profile. We have a trending down split by, is it a B, P? You know, and then I've got like a little guidelines for each and every single one of those, and I can post next to it. Hang on, let me just move it so you can see better. What else? Value, is it higher or lower? Like here I tend to, and you can see down here, always trade with value. So if value is building lower here, then you know the shorts are still in play. We have not time framed up on B session or C, so it's still one time frame below, so the shorts are still in control for now. But it's, for me, it's always hard to short this market, especially when we're like just below previous week low. It becomes like, ooh, you can get a nice squeeze here and trap everybody. And then the overnight, obviously we got sentiment, blah blah blah, we've got all of these, but the overnight trading, you know, like the Globex, and I can show you this maybe on this chart. So the overnight is, let me just hide everything as well. The overnight is this gray area. Let me go on 15 minutes, probably easier for you to see, and just hide the overnight trading. So this is RTH, so this is the proper, you know, market hours, 9:30 to about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then this is the overnight session. So you've got the overnight high, the overnight low. Typically you want to see the market come in, take the low, go back inside and then trade to the other side. We've seen this so many times, but today you can see lower low, lower high, a new lower low, and it's maintaining below that overnight low. So the market's not ready to go back inside. Until then, it's like, okay, remain cautious and short because there's not many levels below. Let me just sync those two last levels that we marked, which was yeah 14. Yeah, it's just below. But yeah, going back to the plan as you asked, and then yeah, just make your support and resistance levels targets, and when you trade to those targets, then you can take some trades. Those are your higher time frames, predefined levels, and then your scalps based on context. You know, what do you see real lifetime? Because let's face it, you may have the best plan every day, but for example, let's say you plan to like I had here, the 810s. We actually traded through that 810s because that's what I had in my plan, but I was fiddling with the stream and I kind of like missed all of that, and I'll show you so that you know, because that was the flip. There you go. So you can see 24 810, and if I just put a line here, 810s. Let me zoom in so you can see. Well, it's pretty much the high of the move really. So that was it. So obviously, and you can see it down here. So if you're above that gamma flip, you can see a squeeze. You typically see that squeeze back up, and then you look for the next level, etc., etc. Itself, it's really not hard. But yeah, it's always good to have a plan. It doesn't matter, and I like to have a plan that is as small as this. So you know, it's easy to follow. Do it every day, and then you're in sync with the market. And then yeah, intraday you can always look for those nice scalp trades like we just did. We obviously took those two little scratch trades, but yeah, it's all here from today's trading thus far. You can just enable, you can see nothing this morning, and then just a little bit later in the session the short down, and it was very easy. You can see I still have the level here. Look at that, I actually close, because you can see like the trade, you know, like it typically wants to come back down to repair this hole here, and you can see we came down, and that's what I was looking for. Like broke down through the previous month value low, broke again, and then cover both of them on that right at the level. So we can delete this, actually we don't need that anymore. But yeah, and then obviously we got a few trades here, a couple of shorts. Let's just go back down to 1 minute, and yeah, it's I tell you what, the market is literally doing bugger all. So let's take a look at the questions, if there's any. I actually use the options on Quant Tower, so I'll show you here. Give me a second, let me just load it up. There's nothing there that I don't have to show. Yeah, so I'll just show you the screen. There you go. So this is NQ, as you can see there, and you can just see like the you know, those nice walls. And it's funny because on Quant Tower actually we can we have an option to enable the highest volume, so you don't have to actually, when you're looking at more than, you know, let's say 64 strikes, you can just literally zoom straight to the number. Oh, there you go. So you can see that 24,600 I was talking about earlier. Spend a bit of time there. We just cannot get above it. You can see there on price, that's where the fellow is right there. That's that 600, and then we had those the 810s from earlier. Probably have to extend this now more. Let's go 128. There you go. And this is where we rejected earlier. So I hope this is useful for you. So there's the biggest volume. Obviously the open interest changed now, but we had quite nice, and you can say that's where it rejected from up here. So the 10 exactly, literally exactly there. So you can see these markets like to go to those places, literally just there. But yeah, I was fiddling with the stream annoyingly. No excuse though. There's no excuses here. Yes, I do. But I don't, depending on the context. So for example, below the previous week low, as we are here, it's very hard for me to trigger a short Even though it's playing out and we've got those 410s target down there, it's always, for me, it's like, in terms of risk, yes, you'd have to get in line with a nice short and then just trail down. For that, I would absolutely do it. You can see, so if I just hide everything else, hide these levels, and just keep on the orb, so you've got the opening range high, the opening range low, then we can pull a fib to just get those targets, and let's see actually if it's working. So currently we're at the -1, so it's not quite finished yet, because the target is actually the 1.5 times, and that is coming in just below that low, and that is going to be at 65 actually. So why don't we mark that, and we can mark this level here as the orb. Let's just type this in here. So this is going to be the orb target for today. Okay, so there's your orb target. It's 1.5 times the opening range. So this is the opening range here. So 1 times would be this, and then 1.5 would be that. For Atos and Quanta, any trading, any platform with the tick size that you use across is pretty much the same, but for NQ you can use tick 4, that's like $1. For ES, I like to use tick 1 just to be very in sync with price, or when it's very volatile like today, I use a tick 4. And for BTC USD, I'm using 150. How many screens do you use? We have quite a few. I could show you my rig. So there's one, well actually, hang on. Maybe I can, I don't know if you can, probably you can't. But yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously I've got a laptop, which is like a mobile setup that I can take anywhere. And it's got these 2 little screens. Not sure if you can see, there's one here with Bloomberg, and then there's another one here with like financial juice, data, news, and obviously Discord for CC, and obviously the laptop itself. So 1, 2, 3, and then obviously 4 above. You can see 2 here, so they're all the same. Yeah, altcoins will follow BTC. So if BTC is doing okay, altcoins is going to do okay as well. Currently, just go to the Coinbase chart here. Let me just actually hide this. So on Coinbase, it's 95,950. That's the level to break for the 1 time framing down to obviously succeed, like finish. Actually, I'm curious to see where the yearly anchored VWAP. Let's just do this together very quickly. So where is the yearly? November, December, Jan. There you go. It's around here. Oof. Oh wow, look at that. Well, that's interesting. That is really interesting. Very interesting. no cheating here. So let's go. What is that at? 89, 190. No. What? Okay. That's funny. Oof. Right, okay. We have done something nice here though. Having seen this, I like the fact that we have taken so I've just you know, the market is, you know, paused there, so we have already taken a few trades there. So let's just focus on this very quickly, because BTC is this nice pivot. Oops. Wow. Okay. We are in a nice zone actually. Yes, we did not hit the 7.5. However, basically this is what I was just doing. And this actually goes in line with what my thesis was, because I was saying to the champions yesterday on the morning update that for me, this, oops, sorry, I'm going to keep it this big. For me, getting inside this gap was bearish. Well, not bearish, but I didn't like it. And I'll just pop it back again. So which is this one? So you have this day here. This is a session. Okay, so this session here. And you have the 7.5. So for me, this is better. Okay, because this range here, you know, that we've just traded into is okay. But this one then it's like, so coming into there obviously brings this one, which is the complete, you know, auction. So really, you don't actually have to go down to 90 because we've already traded that pre-market. So that does look good indeed. So I feel now, having a look at this with a little bit more cleaner eyes here, I actually feel BTC might, and what we might see here is the classic, okay, classic if one then two scenario, which is when you look at an asset, especially Bitcoin, right? And let me just zoom in so you can see, and I'm going to delete everything, we don't need that. Yeah. So when you look at an asset that's been trading down for quite some time now, like BTC has, sometimes it's nice to actually break the high and the low. And it's best if it breaks the high, then breaks the low and comes back inside. So we have a few setups here where if BTC comes, and if there's anyone in here that is familiar with the ping test, it's very much like you're pinging the market and saying, hello, I'm here. This is the hello. And you want to hear that reply back, and that reply will be here. You know, change, say hello, you know, stop everybody else into that 7.5 and then just rip. That would be nice, but it'd be nice if we can do this over the next 2 days. I like it. I think, yeah, alerts set high, above and below. I'm actually going to set alerts here on Coinbase too. And that was literally 96, right? Let's have a look. 96, 145, was it? 96, no, 95, 950. Okay. Actually, let's set an alert on that. There you go. And let's set an alert on that again. So we basically, you know, tracking price here. Capiche? So yeah, like that. And there you go. NQ dropping into our level. Untested point of control. So that's the biggest point of control there. ES lagging a little bit behind. So not quite there yet. But yeah, that's a nice little plan here on BTC. I like it. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it would be nice to come and feel this, just like as per plan. It would be nice to come and feel this down here. It would be nice to come and click and touch this right here. And we have an alert, so you should be able to, you know, if you have the same alert as me, you'll be able to know, okay, we have filled that during. And look, I'm going to show you on this chart without this overnight electronic, you know, algorithmic trading hours. Okay, so I'm going to show you with it. We have not touched that box yet. Okay, we have still a gap above, so there's a gap here. The market is like very algorithmic trading down. Even if you get a pull back to the point of control, now we've gone past the value area low. Next trade is point of control. Fell the point of control, you have value area high, and this is one time framing break. That's it. Very simple. It can reject here, it can reject here, and it can reject here. You got 3 levels there that can reject, and each and every single one of them are acceptable. Your stop would be obviously above here, but this, with the context that we have now, it's very much like, you know, trade above there, and then we can get that nice pullback. And it's going to have to be like, okay, are we going to come just to take this, which at that point we'll be taking that, and it's very much like hello, and then take the stops again and then go. That is the preferred scenario. So let's let it rise and let's let it drop, and then the long comes up after. So just be patient, watch those levels. Don't be the cowboy or the cowgirl that wants to have that Twitter post with the low and the high. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just about, you know, being in the market when it matters. Okay, there you go. We are taking those 2 levels. The orb target is at 65, 64.5. Value has now moved down. NQ extended. And I'm going to change ES to tick 1. The reason for that is because I'm going to now be tracking participation. So we're going to be looking at market participation. In other words, is lower prices bringing in more traders? Because if not, then we go back inside the range. I'm going to try and zoom in. There's our box there. I don't think we're going to go past the session there, so yeah, well, stop loss, it has to be much lower. You know, you have, and this is it, like, it's just, you know, keeping your expectations in check. You know that we can still drop at least down to that 75%, which sits around that 88 from the plan. It's 85,700 even. Okay, that's the max pain, 85,700. So your stop has to be below there. You can choose a candle below. You can choose, for example, I mean, for this would probably have to go on a weekly. Let me just hide this. And I'm just going to delete these. You could potentially use a weekly. There you go. You could choose this. Even this low here, 84.79. That's very close to where we are. 87, but that's 3K. 85. So yeah, what was the level? Let me just sync this. There you go. Your stop would be at least, has to be below there. So you can see that it's very close to that gap fill. So let's say you are working with a massive long from here to another new all-time high. Okay. And we can bring the levels to show you. So we can go from to a new nearly high. That's 50% from where we are. And then your stop becomes literally, you could just wait for a, you know, invalidation just below this level. So it could be like a 2%. Because you know where you are, this is your risk. Because you know where you are, it shouldn't really be dropping too much below that gap fill. Do we have another gap? No, there's no gaps here. This is not a gap. This is not a gap. Yeah, this is it. It's that low there. See, filled, 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 not filled. That's what I would look for. Keeping an eye down here. Just waiting to see if we get, yeah, we're getting that move. I have a feeling that we're going to squeeze some bears here today. First time on a live, mostly just watch Daniel's uploads. Pretty chill and educational here. Thank you. First time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you wouldn't think a long here on a reclaim of the VWAP would be a good idea. It's kind of, it's early. It's a bit early. What's the 4 lines that bring you to the chart? That's just like a split range tool. We're getting the move back inside the range. I'm gonna wait a little bit and see if there's a trade in a minute. Regular trading hours. And they're not gaps because they're, you know, in between the session. I'm looking at the high and the low of the previous session. So I always look for the previous session, not intraday gaps. So I'll only look at the gaps if they have, for example, like here, if they have a gap between the high of the current day and the low of the previous day. If it's inside, no gap. Okay, hope that makes sense. So it is a gap. This is an RTH gap, true gap. This is a true gap. This is the low of the day, and this is the high of the next day. There's a gap. If it's inside here, like between a 30-minute, no gap. I don't class it. It is a gap, but I don't class it as a gap. Okay, we're still kind of like the long trade setup here on NQ. It's starting to look nice. Just a little bit too late here. I'm going to try and potentially go. Just unfortunately we have, yeah, it's a little bit too extended now. Going here with a long, what was 550s? I can't long here where we are. Yeah, I can't long. Even though I can see a move down back up to 80s. Yeah, there you go. Can happen sometimes when we're distracted, like going over some analysis on, like I was on BTC and missed this nice reclaim here of that low. But yeah, we can't long where it is right now, so we're basically just approaching. So ES has just approached there the low of A session, and NQ, you can see here we're just tapping into the half back of the C session. So you know, it's not the best place to open a long when you're right at the right at the resistance, local resistance. Can it go, you know, up to C high? Sure, but you know, from statistics, you know, this is nice resistance here. So yeah, the risk to reward here would be a little bit bad. I have a list of altcoins that I'm looking at. Yes, absolutely. But that I'll keep that more for the champion members. Pump to 96k and dump to fill the gap. That would be nice. Yeah, basically, hello, I'm here, and then dump. Basically, get everybody confused. Yeah, get everybody confused. Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of missed this. I'm a bit gutted I wasn't paying attention to this little setup here. Okay, so we're above it now. We're above that resistance level. On a move back, if we still maintain, let me just zoom in. Let's go down. Let's go deeper. Yeah, around here. So if we can reclaim these, so the same level will be around that 50, well, 10s really. 20. You've got 20s and then 10s. So we're at 20s now. So going back above those 20s, there you go, 10s. So let's see if they hold those 10s. Nice order there. Target would be that VWAP. I don't see what I would like to see here for that long trigger. Yeah, it's not the best setup actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we just come back down and retest those 95s. In other words, just drop down into 95s, 80s from where it is now. Don't know, just doesn't have that feel. Someone said no 80s requests, please. Gold nuggets every day. We need microwaves for the champions. Yes. Alts are dead until BTC. Yes, exactly. Yeah, explain that plan. There you go. Still getting that continuation. Yeah, I missed that little move. Okay. And there you go. Let me know if you took that trade. I just didn't feel like it. It just didn't have that nice, especially down here, that structure wasn't the cleanest. But yeah, back into the tick to that, you know, VWAP again. Love your work, keep it up, thank you. What is the plan now? We are, the thing is, we did tap the level. I was just distracted. I was looking at BTC up there doing that deep analysis. ES also with a nice, and look, value is now, can you see this? Value is now shifting higher. So this is nice. This is the initial sort of like, you know, if ES is to put in a low, we have a good one now on this session. And we'd have to look all the way back up to value area high, which is sitting at 40s. So there's still plenty of room to go. We've got 14 minutes, so also plenty of time. You can see that we're still hovering on NQ around that half back. So that is the resistance still. And you can see we have not taken the C session high. So as far as the market is, yes, the low looks okay. Now we've got excess. However, we are still one time framing down. Okay, so the market is still one time framing down. Let me go to the futures. But yeah, that's a nice low there on NQ, and it's a nice low on ES also. So looks better. I would say for now the shorts are still in control. If we can reclaim now this VWAP, I mean, look, here it's probably cleaner. So you made a new lower low down here, and now we've just come back to retest VWAP. So this is like, you know, still bearish while we're below this, and more to the point, settlement, and the settlement is really far away. I mean, that's a lot. We are far from that settlement, from yesterday's settlement. And if we reclaim this VWAP, that will be where the market will want to go and close later tonight. We'll probably be wanting to go close to that 24. But while we remain below this VWAP, it's going to be a little bit more bearish. And the Globex VWAP is sitting all the way up there at the or below. Literally or below. So no point of having in a chart because we're still below there. Reclaiming 60, 70s can bring the next leg up for that previous week low. He would be a very aggressive long trade now. Right now would be a very aggressive long trade. Where's today's point of control? Let's load that up. Let's see what it is. Down. So fair value is lower. Let's go 15. Yeah, there's a good chance here to go through. If we can maintain this range here. Let's go with the low there. 24.5. Okay, so the market might want to have a little bounce here back through VWAP. We can attempt, just don't like these candles all opening and closing at the same time here. I mean at the same price. Let's look at this from a structure point of view. So we have taken, yeah, we'd have to look at least up there for the long. So that's a nice long trade kind of coming to fruition, but we are still inside this little consolidation. Okay, that's better. Yeah, it's just gonna run now. Yeah, too late. To be honest, I was hoping we'd come down to 97s. That would have been a sniper. You can see I've already marked a level. Coming back down now to this 97 would have been like, okay, take it into that high there. So it's likely to go, let's just hide the RTH view up so it's cleaner. Hope you can see that better. So it should just push through to that 70 there. And there's plenty of time to do so. Let's see what the pullback brings it down to. Maybe we could go, what would be that? 400. Let's see. Maybe we can go higher. I'm going to attempt to go with a break above that. Might be a bit premature, but I'm going to try it. Risk 200. Let's see, it's going to trigger any minute now. Then we can leave this risk. Oof, big sell there. That's not good. Come on, let's push. Yeah, that sell just brought in those sellers. See, absorb that. Not high confidence. It's not getting what I wanted to say. Come on. Be nice to get at least 70s, but we'll trail. Lock another 200. Come on. Nah. It's just very slow. Every time it gets going, it's a little bit slow. Anyway. And look, another good trail. So from here to there. Again, let me just share. There you go. Another nice little trail here. I can still see it go through. There's still time. But yeah, I would have preferred if we had that 97. In other words, this candle here to open, and I'll just put the bar so you can see. So open down here, come down, take the lows, maintain this structure, and then push to that level there. It looks like it wants to go there. And at that point, it should squeeze a little bit to the next level, which is previous week low. So it should squeeze. Let's have a look. You can see all the orders now picking up above. There you go. Let's see the squeeze. But obviously this is a bit risky. You could go with a little squeeze trade here. We could attempt. Let's try. But it's very late in the move, and it should not drop below, I will say, 60s, 70s. No, they're not. Oh, hang on. They might still, oops, they might still want to. Ugh, nah, no can do. But yeah, that would have been nice to see this squeeze through up into the higher time frame level, which is the previous week low. But nevertheless, they might still push it. What would be the... Yeah, we might have that nice move. We've got about 8 minutes. It'll be quick though. From here, if we break above this high, it'll be a quick move. So that's why I know it's VWAP. We're literally right at it. But from experience, we can have that nice squeeze above it. But it slowed right down on it though. If you are long, obviously I took that little L there, but if you are long, try and hold it to that previous week low. I feel it could start to get, especially around those 600s, because that was the big gamma from earlier. Let's pop it here so you can see. $24.6. Just very slow. No, this is right. So for those that don't know, these levels that populate here on a chart, I'm gonna hide this as well. So these levels that populate here, I've been working with Quant Tower. I think this is going to squeeze. I'm going to attempt it one more time. Oh no. Oh no. Wrong side. Made a mistake there. I'll do it above. Oh my god, what am I doing? No, it's buy. I'll go with the market order if I see it. I feel like it's going to squeeze. I basically want to go with a buy order and I put a sell. Idiot. Yeah, I think I'm late now. Oh well. Hang on, let me see one more time there. Okay, I'm gonna try. Just for the, yeah, you go. Perfect. But we want to see follow through. Come on, break up. Break up. Push. Come on. We're at the 600s. I'm gonna have to collapse it. But you could see the idea was there. We just didn't get that initial follow through when I wanted, and it obviously took a little bit of time. It's still going, but just need to flip the 600s. So I'm gonna tighten the this here. There you go. Anyway, you can see the trade thesis here. It was really just to squeeze above that. And yes, here's the VWAP. We're trading through, but from experience, typically this is exactly what happens, and it snaps to the next level. And in this case, it's that previous week low. But it's just finding that resistance, and I'm not surprised because we are at the midpoint here, A, B, C, D. So yeah, these are the levels. So I was talking about these levels here, and I asked Quant Tower to add them to this platform, and they've added. So it includes all of the, I don't know if you can see it there on the chart, but it's got, and I'm going to hide the other one. So previous day high, So previous day, all levels, current day, all levels, current week, previous week, current month, and previous month. Every single level on your chart. And I've got this on a hotkey. So if I just press, you know, one key, they all disappear. So I know exactly what I'm doing here. If I want to get rid of the overnight trading, I can just press this button. And now there's no overnight. This is just pure RTH. I'm going to delete that profile there on the right. And there we go, coming back above this high, which is that resistance that we kind of wanted to see that push into. And then if you put the levels, you can see previous week low, just incoming. So yeah, yeah, that would have been a nice, there you go. And let's zoom into 1 minute. Let's see that nice confluence there. And let's put this back on. And then I'll get going. But let's see if we're gonna hit that to the tick. So the level is 26,626. 24,626. Boom. There you go. Hit. And that's where the orders come in. Right there at the high. But yeah, that was the move. So let me know if you managed to get in. But, you know, had we got in for that 57, just below 97, that would have been a nice little trade there. And here's your squeeze. And right now, you should be locking your profits or trailing below each candle low. So let's say you are in this trade. Pop your trade now, your stop. Let's just enable that. Pop your stop here below the candle. You've got 2 seconds. This is going to close now at that previous week low. 1, 2, 3. It's closed. Move your stop up to there. And this becomes still support. So this is still support, 620s. So 620s is still support. And you, yeah, that would have been a nice trade to keep open. Let me know in the chat. Did you have that still open? And if so, congratulations. Smash the likes. And yeah, but know that this is previous week low. So, and VWAP as well. So that's actually the next big resistance, VWAP. DVX Mike, nice one. This is Quant Tower. All right, that's it. I think I'm going to call it a day. Any last wishes? You need to be on a beta version. Yeah, that would have been nice to push this through. But yeah, we had that little congestion move on the break. But you can see how nice it played out. But yeah, at this point, you don't really, you want to squeeze the trade now. You want to box it in. So let's say before this stream, you used to set your take profit there at VWAP. Well, yes, you would have been out of the trade already. But let's say this continues to the daily equilibrium. Or let's say this goes all the way up to previous month value area low. So just trail. So now you have a new candle which sits exactly at that previous week low. So you can just go, okay, well, this is not a buy anymore here. You don't want to buy there, but you want to move your stop to here. And there you go. You capture this next leg up. And then this becomes your support. And this is just pure candle extraction one-on-one. So you keep an eye on it. And you can see how many orders are actually being filled here. Loads of orders. So at this point, it's like, okay, squeeze a little bit more. Like, just take a little bit more profit. Squeeze it to 35s. Or go down to a 30-second. And see the local, really local structure. There you go. You should have a little move back down and then push back up. Let's see if we can go back above that high at 66. And as always, keeping an eye on that higher time frame auction. And you can see, look, it traded just back to the opposite side of value. Remember? Look below, trap the traders down there, and then trade straight back to value. And value now is shifting higher with all of this move. And we are above, back to the RTH open right there. So very nice. There you go. Let's see this squeeze. You can squeeze now your stop to 46s because we're starting to to look a bit toppy here. And there you go. You'd be out of this trade now. Let me know if that was useful. Yeah, just a shame we didn't manage it the best. But yeah, anyway, at least we've locked some profits there. Anyway, thank you for being here. We do these, Seven and myself, we do these on, well, quite a few times a week. So yeah, if you're a champion, you're always with us. I think on YouTube it's better. Let me know in the chat. Is it better here on YouTube? Can you see the charts a little bit more zoomed in rather than on the platform? I think it's cleaner. And this is now looking, look, the point of control actually shifted higher. Can you see, like, we've shifted, the point of control was earlier down here and it's shifted here. So you can see there's that a lot of interest here, and you can see all of those orders being filled. In fact, I'm going to put the profile here. Let's put it to the left. Let's enable that. Yeah, the point of control is shifting higher, so you can see there's a lot of value being built here, and there's a lot of value being shared here. So smash the likes if you're enjoying the content. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up, but yeah, let me make sure that I didn't miss any questions here. YouTube a lot cleaner. Yes, it is, isn't it? And I think now, maybe even on YouTube, it makes a big difference when you see One Tower like this. And again, zero affiliation to One Tower. I just like the platform. In fact, it was via AMP, because they actually give it for free if you're AMP, if you use it as a broker. And I was like, wait, what? And then I started digging into this, and I was like, this is amazing. Like the platform is really good, especially when you can just clear everything from your charge. And there's BTC 93, so it's looking good into the next box. But it looks good. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, the quality and delay are much better on YouTube. Trading view, key level indicators. No, AMP broker is not prop firms. It's a, yeah, it's a proper broker. Next, scalp short on BTC. Yeah, we're in the box now. This is the point of control. This is the level that it's the best kind of like level. But given that context that we went through later, I'm gonna just kind of like step aside and just observe price down here. And again, look at this. I have a remark here, which is a very good remark. And I hope you can see it, but it says here, often it is best to be a little bit late than too early. Okay, so I prefer to be a little bit later. So let the market say the low, I'm here and I want to go higher, than, you know, longing here and then we get blasted through, especially with the context that I've just given up. So yeah, all right, that is it from my side. This was a bit of a spontaneous live stream. The platform was having some issues, so we decided to bring this here live on YouTube. If you liked it, obviously smash the likes, and yeah, if you remember, I'll see you in the Discord. We'll be continuing over there the chat, and yeah, from my side, that's all. Thank you and goodbye.